Clash of Clans, and in this tutorial I will be talking about various tips that will help you later on in the town hall levels. I'll be talking about the components of a base, so what these different buildings do and how best to place them, and then I will be talking about base placement and the base layout. And so I'll start with the tips first. Up here we have the gems. These green gems here. They're the rarest form of resource in this game. In fact, they're not really a resource. They're more of like a, well, they're sort of like a resource, but you can't get these by collectors or by raiding. You can only get them through achievements and clearing these obstructions. And a lot of beginning players make the mistake of using gems to speed up their builders, or filling their storages, or speeding up their collectors, and you can't do that at this level actually, but later on you can. And that is just a massive drain of gems, and it's not very efficient. A way better way to do it is to spend your gems on builders, and you can only purchase additional builders with gems, and really having an additional builders really makes a difference, because later on in the town hall levels you will have buildings that will take days, and having that third builder will make up far more than you could ever spend with the same amount of gems that you purchased your builder with. So I would definitely recommend saving those until you can get all 5 builders. And then I want to talk a second tip that I want to talk about is keeping your builders busy. You always want to keep your builders busy, because them just lollygagging around is just your town doing nothing, and you will not be able to improve if your builders are just sitting there doing nothing. So always keep them busy. And a third thing I want to talk about is when you're considering like base layouts, there is one thing that you need to be worried about at Town Hall Level 2. There are these obstructions here. They do make it difficult to make a decent base, and they're in the way, and some of these are quite expensive and that you can't get rid of until Town Hall Level 3 or even 4. And so you have to try to build your base around those. However, I would be very careful in doing this, because a lot of Town Hall Level 2 players make this mistake, and they think that these obstructions are walls. They are not. You can place units inside of them or around them, and they will come out. So, like for example, this boulder up here, if you tried to use that as part of your wall, that will not work. They can just still walk right through that. So please do be careful about that. And I think that I'm actually gonna talk about raiding in a different video, just because there's a little bit more complications on that, and I don't want to make this video too long. And for an upgrade order, all these buildings, the upgrade order doesn't really matter before Town Hall Level 4, simply because it's just most people will be able to clear you anyway. At Town Level 3s and Town Level 4s will be able to come in and completely destroy your town, whether or not you have your buildings upgrading in a certain order. The only thing I have to say about upgrade order is that upgrading your storages first is helpful, because then you can gather more resources while your builders are busy. And then another thing about upgrading is these collectors and gold mines. I do not recommend upgrading those very high, just simply because they don't have a very large output. They help, but they aren't as helpful as upgrading some of these other buildings. And in fact, I personally usually recommend upgrading everything before advancing to the next town hall level. But collectors are an exception, as they don't, like I said, they don't have very much of that's a very small upgraded stats. And so even at max level, collectors and gold mines will not really help you unless you step away from your device for a very long time. So having and you'll have plenty of time to upgrade these at Town Hall Level 7 and Town Hall Level 8. Right now, to have maximum efficiency, I recommend upgrading your other buildings and getting to Town Hall Level 4 as soon as possible. And that's when the strategy really starts to come in handy, and you can actually start saving things. And I think that the only reason I'm making this video for Town Hall Level 2 is just to help save some resources along the way. just to make it slightly easier for you to get to Town Hall level 4. And so I'm going to move on to the components of a base. So the first defense that you can get is the cannon. This particular weapon it can take quite a few hits. It has pretty high hit points for that level, for this level. They work really well with archer towers behind them because these guys can take a lot of hits, and the archer towers can't really take that many hits. Which brings me to the archer tower. The archer tower, this one has less damage than the cannon because it's a lower level, but I think usually they have about the same. Oh wait, no, never mind. They do have the same amount of hit points. So these guys, the archer towers actually have much more range than the cannon, and so they can be helpful even behind the cannon. And they can also hit air units. You will not have to worry about air units until Town Hall level 5. But it's just good practice to have them behind the cannons. And the archer towers are very weak. They don't have very many hit points compared to the cannon. So keeping those protected behind high hit point buildings and walls, it will be beneficial to you. And then I want to talk about the town hall a little bit. I'll be discussing town hall placement in later videos as there's some strategy behind putting this here. But the main reason I want to talk about the town hall is because the hit points on this thing are massive compared to all your other buildings. It can take so many hits that it's very hard to destroy this, especially while you have buildings shooting at people, at enemies while they're attacking this town hall. And so it's literally a barrier. It's like a wall. It's the strongest wall you can have at Town Hall level 2. And so I like to put this in front of my defenses. And really you lose very little when people attack your Town Hall compared to your other storages. So I like to place this as a barrier other than as something to protect. And I think I'm going to talk about the storages. They also have quite a few hit points, so using these as barriers is useful. And like I said, there's not much to lose at Town Hall level 2, and what you do lose, you can easily make up for in 1 or 2 raids. So, I mean, and I know that protecting your resources is important, and that's the reason I'm making this video, to make it as easy as possible to advance to Town Hall level 4. But sometimes just having like I have this storage out here. This one has less than my lecture storage, so I'm just putting this here. You can interchange these, and so having the storage outside just helps slow down the enemy. And I think I'm going to go on to my base layout now. So this is my recommended base layout for Town Hall level 2. I would show you some of my recordings, from previous battles, but I have only so far been attacked by 1 or 2 barbarians, and those are probably players who are trying to sync their trophy level. So, but I have used this base in my previous files, and this is a fairly good base. I'm going to point out that, like I said, the town hall is outside. It's blocking access to the archery tower. So even though there's not a wall blocking units to get to this archery tower, there is still a large barrier here. And the cannons are being reinforced by this archer tower. I have put both cannons central to the base, as they can take the most hit points, and they are inside and I wanted these cannons central because having them being able to take hits even after they've destroyed all of this is helpful, just to slow them down. And so you can see I have this wall surrounding my cannon and my electro storage. And the main reason for that is if somebody manages to clear some of this out, instead of attacking the wall, their units will go all the way around this and destroy some of these more or less useless buildings. And so that way they'll be protected and they will not attack this. And the exception for this is ranged units. If these happen to be closer, they'll begin to attack the units inside the wall. And like I said, you can swap out these storages depending on how many resources you have here. You probably will not spend longer at Town Hall level 2 than 1 day, but it's still helpful to have this base layout. And another thing is this wall here. So if they attack from this side, they'll have to walk around this, and they will probably go up this way instead. And that's just another strategy to slow them down. And so that pretty much concludes this video. And please do watch the video on Town Hall Level 2 farming and my recommended strategies for that. All right? Thank you for watching.